Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. I have another layout using 30 Days of Sketches, Chrissy's Beautiful Life, and it is a two-page sketch, and I actually am going to create a two-page layout. So I am pulling out some of the 49 and Market Spice collection that was the fall collection from, I think, a couple years ago. And so there were two layout or two pieces of pattern paper that had these beautiful pumpkin images on it. And so I decided to fussy cut those out and use them as embellishments on this layout. And so that is what I am working on right here. And so you saw the second one that I pulled out here, and I didn't make you watch all of the fussy cutting, but I did show you as I was pulling out each pattern paper and how it was actually pretty easy to fussy cut these papers out. And so here I am now starting on the base of my layout that I am using two of the solid-ish pattern papers from 49 and Market, and the green ones were actually from a really old collection, Curator's Meadow, which was actually came out probably the very first year that I discovered 49 and Market. And then there are actually multiple layers within this sketch, and so a couple of these layers that I only had one piece of paper, and so I did need to make it stretch. And obviously, this is where I walked away from the table at the crop, and then I think I come back and discovered that, whoops, I forgot to turn my camera off. So now I've come back, turned the camera off, and now I'm ready to start working again. I think I did this a couple times at the crop. So here we have found one of them. Let's see, but I only think I have a couple more layouts left from when I worked on them at the crop. So we'll see how many more times I did that. All right, so now you can kind of see some of the layers that I am working on, these cute little pictures of Cody. And I actually grew those little mini pumpkins in my garden last year. And so I had some of them in my flower pots there in the front once fall came around. And he came home from school or daycare one day and saw the little pumpkins, and so I just sat him down there, and we got a couple little cute pictures of him by my mums and holding the little pumpkins. So this purple plum color that I is actually from the Spice collection as well. It was one of the solid ish papers that came with that collection as well, and I just loved this purple color. And it actually looked really good with the rest of the pictures, and the colors of the mums and everything. And so I am using my corner rounder because I did like that look, and I think they were actually rounded in the sketch as well. So if you are, I'm not sure if you can hear this, that I did move inside, that I was working on another voiceover just previous to this one, and the tornado weather sirens came on, and I did finally move inside because I was expecting them to go off again. That the storm has not yet arrived yet, but they are trying to warn people. And it just went off again. So hopefully, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but yes, I'm okay. That hopefully there will be uh, nothing major going on, and that they are just setting off the sirens just to keep everybody safe and get everybody indoors. So, all right, back to the layout here. So if you can hear the sirens, just ignore it, and we will just continue on. So there I am going through the embellishment folder that I've created for some of my 49 Market collections, and picked out some items that go with this collection, as well as just might have been from some other collections, but did match up with the things for the fall Halloweenish type theme that I have going on in here. So I did pull out that orange layering piece, and now that I have determined how long this piece needs to be, that I have trimmed off the excess, and then now I'm going to do the same thing with the purple. And you saw me mark it with my pencil, and I will get that trimmed off and round my corners here and get that stuck down to the background, and then I can really start rolling on getting everything down on the page here. So here I'm working on another layering piece from the sketch. That there was a scallop piece, and originally I was actually going to scallop the paper. And sorry, I don't know how this got so zoomed in, so I'm sorry you can't really see some of the stuff, but I'm just kind of testing out the rest of the layering pieces here, and how I want everything to rest up. And then we're gonna, I think the next part of the video, nope, I was incorrect. We are still zoomed in, but you can still see that here I'm using another piece of pattern paper, and I didn't really need the florals on that part of the paper, and so just the purpley color to help the pictures stand out just a little bit on that cream colored piece on the background. And so once I get all of those matted, then I do go ahead and start, and it looks like here I did need to piece together this mat just to make sure I had enough to cover the whole thing. Oh, there I'm talking to somebody. I wonder what we're talking about. But even if I knew what we were talking about, I couldn't tell you, because what happens at the crop stays at the crop. So uh, let me know that, do you guys do any local crops, or if you haven't, look into it. That there are actually lots of retreat places you can go to, find some of your friends that want to go with you, or um, if you don't mind traveling a little bit, if you're not in the Midwest, that my local scrapbook store in Ankeny, that they do a scrapbook retreat usually 2 to 3 times a year, and so that's what this one was. And I know there is a scrapbook store in Cedar Rapids, Iowa as well, that also does some retreats. So check it out. Google it, or they are a lot of fun. So here I am working. I'm going back through my embellishment folder and looking for a few more layering pieces to add on this orange piece, and I debate on adding those pumpkins in there, but once I had those larger pumpkins from that I fussy cut from the pattern paper, they just seemed unproportionate. So I didn't end up using any of those. While there are no leaves in the picture, I did go ahead and use this rake that I wasn't sure when I would ever use it, and it just is, it screams fall to me with a raking leaves, and thought I would just include it in as a layering piece. Although I did try and use some of the leaves in there, and I don't think I end up using those. So here I get some of the purpley flowers that I think those are actually from Plum Grove, which was several years ago. Which I loved that collection as well, and didn't really have a lot of that collection left. So I did try and get those florals here onto this page. And let's see, I get a couple wordy bits on here, and then where I started talking about the scallop earlier, I did end up using the torn edge that was actually originally on the piece of paper that I was trimming off um, to go below this black brownish plaid here strip of paper. So I do get these florals on here, kind of make it look like they are growing out from the that purple slide there. I do kind of hide everything, the edges below where the pumpkins are going to fall, or actually where the little wordy bits go. And I didn't put a lot of glue on these either, that I did leave the tops of them up so it can give some shadow and dimension on the layout as well. So here I do put the pumpkin strip on the right side of the layout, flat to the layout, and I did use foam adhesive on the 3 pumpkins that actually end up on the left portion of the 2-page layout. So here I'm getting the first set down, and then the reason I wanted to overlap the other set was because of how the pattern paper was printed, that pumpkin is flat on one edge because of the edge of the paper. So if I cover that up with the other rounded versions of the pumpkins that I cut from the separate piece of paper, you can't even tell that it's a partial piece of a pumpkin. All right, so here is where I decided that I was too lazy to find someone to do a scallop, or even wait until I got home and use my die. And so really I just decided to use the torn edge that was already on the paper. And uh, and I didn't need it to go as far as I thought I did because of where the pumpkins fell. And so really I just put that little scrap that I had cut off um, in the little dip, that where if I had gone all the way across, that's the only section that would have shown anyway. So that's how I took care of that solution. And so there I'm marking where I need to cut my pumpkin, so I can put the little bit on the right side of the page and then the majority of the cut pumpkins on the left side of the layout. So here I'm putting my foam adhesive just to give a little dimension to those pumpkins. And I do put it on both sides, so even though it is close to the edge, that I do put foam adhesive on both sides. So all right, so now I have my pumpkins down, and let's see, I do come back in with a few tickets to add in some places, and then I believe when I get home I do add some enamel dots around the layout, which you will see in the close-up photos, and those are coming up here next. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. And I will have pictures of this posted on Pinterest and Instagram, and I will also have a link down below of everybody that is playing along, that there's a playlist, so go click on that, check everybody out, leave them some love, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.